starting lineup for Vancouver College. Number 23, Isaiah Byers. Number 23, Isaiah Byers. Number 1, Ben Teasdale. Number 10, Gianluca Tronchetti. Forward, Aiden Lear. Forward, Ashton Wall. And now your starting lineup for
basketball fans, and welcome. Here we are courtside, broadcasting live from Dixon Gymnasium. We're moments away from tip between Vancouver College Fighting Irish and the number 6 ranked St. George's Saints. I'm Paul Prosnick, joined by my basketball enthusiast, longtime friend, Brian Lee. And let me tell you, Brian, this is one anticipated game. There's been a buzz in the school all day. I'll tell you, the players are just as excited as the fans to play this game. And every year, there's different storylines going into this game. How about this? VC opens the scoring, but as we get moving here, I need to hear from you, Brian. I need to know, what do you think are the keys to tonight's game?
Well, Paul, let me tell you something. VC and St. George's have very similar styles of play. I mean, they're both fast-paced, up-tempo. You're going to see full-court pressure defense from the jump. That's a nice, strong take to the bucket. And V, second shots. As we go through, another key to success for St. George's is minimizing second shot opportunities. St. George's has got the size advantage on them. They don't have a true back-to-the-basket player, but I'll tell you what, they do have the length on them. So keeping them a one-shot per possession is going to be a big part of this game.
And that's definitely what Coach De Silva was preaching at practice this week. They practiced on Sunday. They practiced yesterday. And I know Coach feels that they're ready for the game.
Isaiah Byers shows his athleticism on that take. One thing that VC does not lack is athleticism and quickness, and they're going to try to speed up and keep the game at a fast tempo. If St. George's can take care of the basketball and not get flustered by that pace, I think it's going to be a really, really close game right down the end.
Both teams this year are actually averaging just over 80 points a game. St. George's at 82.4 points a game. Vancouver College at 80.1. So they're going to look to really, as you say, push the tempo. Speaking with first-year head coach for the varsity team, Ryan Shams, he mentioned that what they want to try to do is they want to try to shut down as best they can number 1 for the Saints, Dominic Aquino, and number 10, Dorian Glogovac, which is no doubt, I think, the leading scorer for the St. George's Saints.
Yeah, I mean, Dorian's a phenomenal player. Last year, he had to sit out for the year. He practiced with his team, and you know he's itching to play in this big game. Loads of talent, his upsides. I know college coaches are looking at him at the next level already. He's going to be a tough matchup for Vancouver College.
Gianluca Tronchetti showing some composure at the line. Free throws, 2 for 2. I think you and I talked a little bit earlier before the game as we were discussing what's going to be crucial. Both these teams are going to look to attack the basket. Both these teams are going to get to the foul line. Could free throw shooting be a bit of an X factor this game.
Paul, you're bang on. I mean, both teams are really, really aggressive. I would suspect that by the third quarter, the latter part of the first quarter, they're going to be in bonus.
Isaiah Bias really is able to create on his own, and you're going to see a lot of that outside shooting from him today.
Yeah, he does a wonderful job in gaining separation between himself and his check. The one thing about him, though, his shot selection is sometimes questionable, and if he can just maintain his composure and get the shots that they want, they can be much better off on the offensive end.
We've got a few turnovers to start the game here. In a game like this, and obviously there's Dom exerting his influence with a 3. How important is it that these teams settle into the flow of the game? Because right now, wouldn't say, and I know it's early, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of flow to start.
Well, you know what you're seeing, Paul? You're seeing a bunch of young kids uber excited to be in this element, and their energy and their emotion is getting the best of them. Almost every shot that's taken has been taken in the first 15 seconds of the shot clock. And that's just, these guys are energetic, they're excited. They will calm down as the game goes through its natural course. There we go, another quick shot. And I think that's what St. George's wants. They want Vancouver College to take these quick shots. There's another quick shot.
Absolutely, they're not hesitating on shooting the rock. But you'll notice, again, both teams playing what looks to be 5 out. My sense here is that Coach Sams is looking at this score, and if things continue this way for St. George's, a timeout might be in order. Normally, not one of the high scorers for St. George's is 23 right here, Kevin Lee, and he's already off to 8 points to start the game. And how about that, Ryan Shams with a timeout?
And you know what? That is a well-needed timeout. He's got to talk to his team, Paul, about just relaxing and taking the shots that they want in the game. Don't let the moment and the energy really get the best of them. I'll tell you the other thing, Kevin Jong is going to be a very tough matchup for him, because he's a relatively good-sized guard that has an ability to play above the rim. And they don't have another guy that can contain him. So look for Kevin Jong to have a monster game today, particularly scoring most of his points in the paint.
And you gotta like the coverage that we have tonight, SportsCanada.TV. For all those people watching, I know many of you at home tonight wish you were in the gym. And let me tell you, there is a buzz. I got goosebumps right now myself. But SportsCanada.TV really does a nice job with the production, and we hope that we can do a good job for you tonight at home, giving you the information you want, trying to bring you the energy that we feel in here. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, no, it's a you know what, Paul? I think you and I feel pretty fortunate to be in the space we're in right now, because it doesn't get any better than this in high school athletics. Full stop.
All right, let's see if Vancouver College can do something a little different coming out of timeout. Perhaps they show a little bit more patience on offense here. That's Finn Tisdale with the ball up top here. Quarterback for the football team this year, championship football team. And here come the Saints right back at them.
And as you heard Coach De Silva talk about, he just had mentioned move the basketball, and that's 2 shots that Dom had taken within 5 seconds of that shot clock, and he's going to hear that from Coach De Silva.
That's a big 3 there for Kevin McConville, 6'3", and I'll tell you what, Charlie McConville, Kevin McConville, former student at St. George's. Nonetheless, you'll see another tip there. That's 2 possessions in the row that St. George's is getting a hand on the ball. And you know as well as I do that tips is one stat that coaches like to keep. And here's the thing with St. George's that we haven't really seen in the past. And you and I have both been around this program for many, many years. But they've got some length. And we're seeing the advantage, and we're seeing that come to fruition right here, right now in the first quarter.
No, they definitely do, and that's going to cause Vancouver College some challenges down the end. So it looks like they called a goaltending call, basket interference. And what that is, folks, ball's up on the rim, defensive player touches the mesh and interferes with that, so automatic 2 points.
And there we go, we're going to the line again. Let's see how we go. They're attacking the rim coming into the game. Here we go, number 13, grade 11, 6'5", Brian, 6'5", Aryan Sablock. Hey, we're gonna substitute size for size. And last time I checked, I don't think you can coach size.
Nah, you can't teach height, my friend, and especially when you're talking about length. Not only is he 6'5", but I'm going to say that he probably has about a 6'7" reach overall, which makes a huge difference in changing shots and getting touches.
And you know I like my Zag, so I might say Holmgren, and you're probably going to say Wemby, but that's okay, okay? That's okay.
Hey, let me tell you something. I'll take either one of them any day, all day, Mr. Paul Krosnick. And look at the dipsy doodle by Isaiah Bias, again showing his athleticism, his dexterity. He does that with the best of them. He's an exciting player to watch. I had the opportunity this summer to coach him on the Provincial team, and I'm going to tell you, he is as athletic as you'll see in this province. If he could only play with a little bit more composure when he's on the court, his game would elevate tremendously.
And that was my next question to you. What I wondered about him, as you say, you know him a lot better than I, but I'm wondering if he's feeling right now, as a grade 12, I believe he's played on this team for 3 years, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but does he feel right now that he's got to put everybody on his back, he's got to put VC on his back, he's got the crowd in the corner wanting to get back in this game, or is he going to be disciplined enough to say, you know what, this is the game plan, let's just ride out the wave here, basketball's a game of runs, we're going to get our opportunities, let's just wait and see.
Well, you know, look, he does feel some pressure, Pete. You know, his side mate in Rocco, who he's played with for probably 8 years, is no longer with this team, and he was very much a leader as well, so he probably shoulders that a little bit.
Okay, I think we had another substitution here into the game, number 21, Javer Kuhn. Again, we're gonna go with size. Javer Kuhn, 6'4", and maybe for those at Vancouver College might recognize Javer Kuhn used to play at Vancouver College. We've seen some carryover between some boys here between Vancouver College and St. George's. Lo and behold, Gianluca Tonghetti played for St. George's. I must say, I'm loving the Saints fans right now. Lots of energy. Looking in the other corner of the gym, not so much from the VC fans. But let me tell you, I got a lot of respect for VC fans. And just because they're quiet now doesn't mean they're dead. And by no means, in my mind, is this game over.
Hey, it's a game of runs. And right now, St. George's started on top. They just got to continue doing what they're doing, getting buckets in the paint, and getting to the free throw line.
Also into the game for St. George's, number 11, grade 12, Evan Palmer, and there you go. He's got a steal. He's going to make it happen. He's taking it to the rack. He knows his role. Let me tell you, he's going to be hounding and he's going to be pounding out there.
Oh, he knows. Look, Evan Palmer knows there are 5 fouls that you're allowed to have in this game, and he's going to use every single bit of that throughout the course of the game. Not afraid of contact in any way, shape, or form, and a phenomenal athlete in his own right.
Given what these teams are averaging over the season, right now, St. George is on pace to score almost 100 here. I'm sure they'll eclipse that, but I'm going to say they might not be able to keep up this pace for the whole game. But Guy De Silva is certainly just going to ride this wave right now.
Well, Paul, if you notice, every single shot that BC has put up has been hotly contested. There's a hand in the face. They're cutting off passing lanes. They're not giving them angles to the basket. They're doing a phenomenal job defensively, and they're not just doing it on the ball. Their outside defense is building that wall and making it really tough for Van Calls to penetrate. And the man with the ball knows what to do with it. And Dom, nice, good-looking shot.
And as you know, when you got a lead like this, it makes shooting a little bit easier.
You know, the one thing that I worry about with Van Calls is that they're not very deep, particularly in the backcourt. And they have Isaiah out there. He hasn't had a sub yet. And I just worry about him being a little bit fatigued, particularly considering the pace he plays at. He's going to have to watch that.
And compounding that is, you know, Saints, we've had a few subs here into the game, and all of them have managed to contribute in some way, shape, or form. So they're getting contributions off the bench, which I'm sure Coach De Silva is quite pleased with, because he's going to, as well, try to up-tempo and keep the pace of this game moving as quick as he can.
Now, you know what? I like that shot. The ball got moved around. It went inside, came back outside, got a good look at it.
Yeah,
well-needed basket. Well-needed basket.
And the subs keep coming for St. George's, but who do we have on the court right now for Vancouver College? We got Tisdale, we got Gallen, we got Isaiah Spies, Tungeti. And Isaiah is not going to go away. A little spin move. Likes the left hand. I'm wondering if you might see St. George's try to force him right tonight.
Tugnetti with another big shot. They needed well-needed buckets for Tugnetti. Way to step up on his end.
Grade 11, 6'4", so this is not the last we're going to see of Tungeti.
Well, you know he's got a special look in his eye tonight, being a past student at St. George's School. He really wants to get that W under his belt.
And that's it. You know, a number of these guys, they've played together. They played against each other. They know each other. And at the end of the day, that's probably going to bring out the best in them.
Yeah. They just called David Gukun on that foul. All he's got to do is just contain a gap.
Vancouver College just this past weekend lost in the final of the Emerald Tournament. They made it there with a last-second buzzer beater, Andres Garcia, to win that game. What was the score in that game? 79-78?
Yeah, 1-point game, you got it.
So I'm just wondering, you know, it's a big ask maybe coming in here, because the Emerald is something they got a lot of time for, a lot of energy, a lot of hype at Vancouver College for that tournament. And are they able to then go back to the well again for another big game just a few days later? And you look at the body language here, right? Tongeti, there's a bit of a turnover, dropped his head a little bit. And you know, if you're a leader on your team and your teammates are seeing that, that affects others, right? So this is a factor right now, the mental toughness in an environment that we have tonight. Can I keep it together? Do I know my role? Or I need to try to go outside of what I'm capable of doing to try to make something happen.
Yeah. Another nice looking shot. I got to tell you what, I really like the job that Coach Guy De Silva has done in terms of his substitution. He's got fresh bodies in, and he knows that he's going to need guys to be fresh in order to keep up the tempo that they're currently playing at. Well done.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Coach De Silva here is basically just going to say, you know, fellas, what we're doing well. Let's not change a whole lot. Let's continue to bring the energy. We need to take care of the basketball. We need good shot selection. I'm not so sure what Ryan Shams is going to be saying to his crew.
Yeah, you know what? They need better shot selection, number one. They're letting the moment get the best of them right now. I don't think they had one bucket where it seemed to be an intentional play. It seemed to come off broken plays or transitions or putbacks. But they need to settle down and take the shots that they want. You know, the one thing that St. George is doing a great job is they're kind of playing pack line defense, and they're not allowing any penetration. So when you get to the rack, you know help side is coming. So if they can do a better job in kicking and finding guys and shifting the defense from one side to the next, I think they'll be able to punch it in through those gaps.
Okay, here we go, 26-14 in favor of the St. George's Saints. I'm Paul Prosnick, delighted to be with Brian Lee in Dixon Gymnasium, packed house. And look at the VC fans saying, listen, if the team's not going to do it, we need to do it for the team. They're on their feet, they're dancing. Let's see if Vancouver College can respond, and how about that? Isaiah Bias with a steal. All right. You'll notice too, they're not really playing. This post play is not really a factor here. Neither team has a dominant post player. Double teaming down low.
Defense. Did a great job defensively. Dorian's just got to keep the game simple. You don't need to go behind your back 3 times in transition.
And again, how about that for energy, right? We got a block shot on Gal, and then he comes down. He's got the opportunity for a little bit of finish there. Doesn't quite get it. Obviously, he wants it. But those are energy boosters as well. Let me tell you, why don't you just step back a little bit further, Dom, and shoot from the center circle? Obviously, you are feeling it, my friend.
Yeah, he's playing with a lot. He's playing like a 12th grade player who knows this is his last BC Saints game in this gym. Yeah, and he's ready. You look at his eyes. He's focused. He's determined. He's doing a great job in being composed as well. Love the way he plays. Love the way he plays. Look at that.
Oh, great cut. Great cut. Dorian Glogovac, great cut. The fans like it. The coaches like it. The players like it. We got some pace here.
Yeah, doing a great job in moving the basketball and moving off the dribble as well. I think we got away with a no call on that one, but you know what? We're going to take that.
Dom Aquino, number 1 in the program's got 8 points here, and Kevin Jong as well, 8 points. And another steal. Kazuke Matsubura into the game, number 5 for St. George's. Kevin Jong, number 23, coming back in. So again, Guy De Silva rolling the subs. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a great move because he knows he's going to need fresh legs down the stretch. You know, that possession, I didn't like that possession too much because they're playing as if they're down, right? They're up, 17 points. 2 quick shots right off the bat, ill-advised. And again, they'll hear from Coach De Silva on that one.
Here we go, Gianluca leading BC scorers with 11 points. Let's see, maybe they're just going to say, listen, this is just a heavyweight match. Maybe they're going to kind of go blow to blow, but at the end of the day, if BC wants to get back in this game, they're going to have to get stops, and they're going to have to keep them off the boards. Because let me tell you, second chance shots, I'm not going to get into my stats. You've heard it too many times before, Brian Lee. But those are higher percentage shots, those second chance opportunities. The shooting percentage on those is equivocally much better. Yeah, but look at that penetration. Yeah. Slicing and dicing, but is he going to be able to do it on his own?
And you know what? Those shots in transition, those quick threes in transition, is not a bad look if you've got no one on the sideline and he's got his hands and feet ready. Hey, let's get it. That's okay. But you saw in the last possession, Kevin Jong skied over the entire St. George VC team in the paint. They just don't have that interior body to be able to stop those buckets in the paint.
And you'll notice what they're doing there, St. George's, is on those screens off of the wing there, they're double teaming the ball. Into the game for Vancouver College, grade 11, number 11, Marco Mayuga. Also into the game, Cole Prypuch. So he's going to the line now. Multi-sport athlete, member of the championship winning football team, wide receiver, defensive back. I actually polled both teams and I asked them who they felt were some of the grittiest players on their team. And for Vancouver College, at the line right now, Prypuch was the guy that they selected. And you can appreciate as an athlete, as you once were, Brian, maybe you still are, but, getting those votes from your peers sometimes means a lot more than a coach or another body.
Well, Paul, you're not going to have to talk after this game and that little jab you gave me in terms of me being an athlete, and I might be. Don't think I didn't hear that. Well, we got something to talk about a little bit later.
I know you got some dancing shoes, and I said you could come play soccer for my men's team, but that's another story, another time.
Love it, love it. Well, look, this game ain't over yet. 14 points is not insurmountable with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. And I'll tell you what, if they keep taking those quick shots, it's going to change. It's a game of runs, and they got to be able to capitalize on those moments when they're up big.
Definitely. We've got, in case viewers at home didn't know, I've got Christine Lee assisting us, giving us information, following the stats, and hopefully we'll get a better idea at the half in terms of how this game runs, who's in foul trouble, etc. So we're doing our best to keep up here. We got a timeout, St. George's. So maybe this is an opportune time just to recap how some of the earlier games went today. The grade 8s, okay. St. George's are up 15 at the half. BC clawed back to get the game within 3 with 38 seconds to go. And I know you, along with many other coaches, are pretty good at crunch time. They couldn't quite get the job done. Saints hang on to win that 67-61.
I'll tell you, that was a wonderful game to watch. You know, for all these 8th graders, this might have been the biggest crowd that they've ever played in. And they were coming to these varsity games, watching these guys playing the Saints VC series. And for them to get on the court today and play with the energy and the atmosphere was a treat. It was a great basketball game played both ways.
And I know there's a lot of basketball fans, people in the basketball community that just like basketball watching tonight. Leading scorer in that game for Vancouver College with 30 points at the bantam level was Lucas Villanueva. Now I have a question, because I know you coached a fellow by the name of Carlo Villanueva. I believe that even Guy De Silva has a shooting drill called Carlo. So I want to know, someone's got to reach out to us at some point and let me know if there's any connection there to Mr. Carlo Villanueva.
Well, you know what? There isn't a connection. I coached both of them, and I coached Lucas Villanueva as recently as last summer. And I asked him the same thing the first time we connected. Interestingly enough, two outstanding point guards who has the ability to not only make their teammates better, but to put the ball in the basket. He certainly did that today with 30 points.
Absolutely. You know, just while we're on that topic, Cohen Lee had 17 for BC in that game, and for St. George's, Rayhan Sadhu, 29 points, and Pierce Simons, 19 points. Was that, I missed that.
Well, let me tell you, that was Dom from downtown, and it didn't even touch the rim. I mean, string music from the top. It might have had ice on it when it came down. That's how much arc he had on it. And I'll tell you what, you know when they talk about a player being in their zone? I mean, right now, Dom is in his zone. He's making all the right plays. He's taking care of the basketball. He's knocking down his shot. He's stepping up as a leader, and you can see that. He's ready to go.
Well, you just said, and you can see that. We've talked before, when a player goes to the free throw line, and you can see it in their eyes. Right now, his body language exudes confidence. He is not even, when he's taking those shots from that depth, he's not even thinking that he is far away from the hoop. He is revved right in here. And now, what do we have? We got the ball stuck on top of the hoop. We've got, and look at this, number 9, Ashton Wong says, you know what? I can do it. I can do it. Referees were gonna try. He waved them off. He says, no, I'm a one-trick pony here. I'm knocking this off in one shot. Ashton Wong. Hey, grade 10. Oftentimes we've seen many grade 10 players come up and play in these games, and he's one of them, number 9 for Vancouver College Fighting Irish. See how he can handle this atmosphere tonight.
That's a good look in transition. Good finish from Dom to Kevin Jong.
Kevin Jong's another player that if he can also get on a roll as he is now, he's going to play with a lot of confidence, and he can definitely be a skywalker out there. He has got some hops.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete, and from what I'm hearing, he's going to be getting a track and field scholarship as a high jump athlete, and he's looking to go south of the border as well. So look for more acrobatic moves from him on the offensive and defensive end. Number 23, Kevin Jeong.
Absolutely. He's actually hoping to medal in high jump at the Provincials in the spring. So we obviously want to wish him well there, but right now he's not thinking track and field.
There it is again. Look, the defense is what we call stifling.
Well, you gotta like the fight there that Cole just put in, get it going after that ball. If that's not going to energize and fire up his teammates, I'm not sure what is, okay? Checking into the game, Aiden Lear coming back in. Again, Isaias Bias. On the floor right now for St. George's, Charlie McConville, Javer Kuhn, Arian Sablock, Kevin Jeong, and the floor general, Dom Aquino. Did you see that? It's a deflection, Brian. We talked about that earlier. Kevin Jeong got a hand on that, and there's the ball.
Well-needed transition bucket by Vancouver College.
Again, St. George's liking to play 5 out. You're not going to see a lot of post play there. You're going to attack, penetrate, look to Kit. They get a chance to get to the hoop. They're going to take it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they got away with one there on the reach by Aiden. Aiden's a sleeper player. Aiden, he can go off for 4 or 5 threes in a row. He's a good rebounder. He's a very cerebral player on the court. So he might be one of those that comes in and gives him a spark coming off the bench. Aiden Lear, number 13 for Vancouver College.
Okay. Leading scorer for St. George over the course of the season. Maybe not tonight, but number 10, Dorian Glogovac back in the game. And I don't think you're going to see much different out of St. George's here. I think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're having some success with it. Again, they got a little bit of mismatch. Switching on the screen there, Vancouver College.
Yeah, that shot was a little ill-advised by Dom. He doesn't need to take that. He just can continue doing what he's been doing and taking care of the basketball. Another tough bucket by Isaiah by
St. George is up 15. They were up 12 at the end of the first.
Tough bucket by Charlie McConville, showing his ability to go left and go right. His pivot foot and footwork in the paint was well done.
And I think maybe he's one of the guys that perhaps could be a bit of an unsung hero, underrated, plays under the radar just a little bit. You know, he's got the potential on any given night to be the leading scorer for this team. And not only that, if you look at the rest of that starting lineup, at any point, at any time, in any game, there's potential there. And that's a beautiful position for Coach De Silva to be in.
It is, I look at a lot of the guys, the starting lineup in particular for St. George's, and a lot of them are late bloomers. Charlie McConville is one of those guys that is now coming into his own, and he's figuring it out. I look at, and there he goes, Dorian. Tough take right down the middle. He tried to go 1-on-2 in that. Not the best decision.
Okay, what's the call here? I missed that.
They call the foul on number 21. Is it 21? He said 2-1.
That's what I thought.
Oh, you know what it is? Shot clock. 21 seconds.
Yes, correct.
21 seconds on the shot clock.
Okay, how about that? I don't mind a lefty. Ashton Wong.
Assisted by Aiden Lear. I'm telling you, Aiden Lear is a bit of a sleeper on this team, and I'm surprised that they waited so long to put him in, to be very honest with you.
Looks like they went to a bit of a 2-2-1 there zone. Now they match right back up in a man. We'll have to see what happens the next time they score. And again, you talked about this earlier. Now you wonder about certain shot selection that's a little bit off balance. Yes, they're up, but you still got to stick with your game here.
Misdirection in that call. Referee gave it to Van College, and in all reality, it was St. George's ball. Taking the ball out of bounds right now, we got Charlie McConville, and he'll get it into the very capable hands of Dom.
Able to stay with it, gets fouled. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Are you noticing a bit of a trend here? Anytime St. George's gets the ball in the paint, they either go to the line or get a really good look. If they could be a little patient with their looks, get the ball around the perimeter, kick it in, kick it back out, they're going to be living at the line. Vancouver College only has 1 foul so far in this quarter, which tells you they're not going to the paint enough. And conversely, we've got 5 fouls for St. George's. Subbing in, we have Kevin Jean getting ready to sub in.
Dorian Glagovic, he put up 28 points last week versus Kitsilano. That's who St. George's played earlier in the week. Then they faced Burnaby South. Did real well against Burnaby South. Just trying to find my notes here. St. George's beat Burnaby South on Thursday, number 7 ranked team in the province, 88-60. Quite a commanding victory. And I think we've talked before about it's interesting how teams match up. So for example, St. George's lost to St. Pat's. Vancouver College beats St. Pat's in the final of the BC Catholics. St. George's beats Burnaby South 3 times. Vancouver College, I think St. George's beat Burnaby South twice, and Vancouver College has lost to Burnaby South 3 times.
Well, you know, it just goes to show you the parity that we're seeing throughout the province this year. I haven't seen in a long time. I don't know if there's a clear-cut team that is going to run away with it like we saw last year in Semiahmoo. It's really about 6 teams that I think are really in the running for it. But of all the teams I've seen, I got to tell you, the team that I've been most impressed with is Spectrum. They've got all the pieces. They've got good length, good size. Their basketball IQ and intuition on the court is second to none, and they've got Ken Shields in the background helping them, and he's a legendary coach, and that's, to me, a bit of a cheat code. So look out for Spectrum to be one of the top teams down the road. I'll talk a little bit more later on about some of the other teams, but that's one to keep in mind.
But just while you're on that, is having Ken Shields in the background kind of the same as having Allison McNeil coach your daughter's team?
Yeah, I would say it's on the same, similar level. When you have coaches in the community who are able to come back and share their knowledge, mentor kids, it's a beautiful thing. So you're blessed when these coaches are able to come back and give back to the community. It does so much for developing, for understanding and enriching. And also, too, a lot of the coaches around, Ken Shields and Allison McNeils of the world, they are uber giving in terms of their time to coach coaches and to train coaches and to keep the game of basketball growing in our beautiful province. So kudos to those individuals.
Okay, well, listen, St. George is up 44-28, 30 seconds to go. De Silva coaching for 1 shot. I don't think Kevin John probably heard him. He'll take it right now, but I'll tell you, okay, because I know that Coach De Silva really likes to be able to manage the game when it counts, especially in close games. He might come in at halftime and said, now, Kev, great job fighting for that board and going back up with it, but we got to recognize what the situation is. And it's not going to come into play here, really, of course, for this half, given the score.
You know, and you know what? Again, another bucket in the paint, and they show that anytime they get it in the paint, success is going to happen.
Well, at least, Vancouver College right here, Isaias Bias with the ball. They're really hoping they're going to get a bucket here and have some semblance of some excitement, something to go on as you come into the timeout. Give them some energy, some hope. And Ashton Wong, a little bit of a fadeaway. Dom close at the buzzer. 47-28, St. George is up 19 points. It's been a pretty up-tempo, pretty exciting half. I think you and I are just going to take a bit of a break here and return for the third quarter.
Great first half. Great to be a part of it. And hey, folks, we will see you in a while.
Okay, we're back. Here we go. We've just been treated to seeing the MEI Marching Band, certainly known around this province for their ability to entertain and perform at a very, very high level. This is actually the second year in a row that we've had them here. Very, very fortunate, and we thank them for coming and spending their time. It's not a short little drive, Vancouver College style, across town, if you know what I mean.
Man, they add phenomenal energy to already energized and special environments, so we don't take anything for granted, and they do such a wonderful job in engaging the audience. Well done, kudos to them, and thank you.
Okay, how about we just recap to see how this first half went. St. George's ends the half 47-28, up 19. That's their biggest lead of the game. Okay, looking at those leading scores, Kevin Jong for St. George's with 15 points, Don McKino with 11, Gianluca Tonghetti with 11, and Isaiah Spies with 9 points. We talked at the top of the broadcast, Brian, about perhaps foul shooting being a factor in this game. With all the penetration, up-tempo, taking the ball to the rack, well, let me tell you something. St. George's, 5 for 5 from the line. Vancouver College, 4 for 14. I'm not a math guy. Is that 25%?
Well,
it's close.
It's close to 25%, but look, Paul, they got to do a much better job when they get to the line. When they work hard enough to get to the line, they got to capitalize on those opportunities, and leaving 10 points off the scorecard is not going to get it done. Look, this game is not over. I'm going to tell you right now, Vancouver College has not had a run, and you know they're going to have a run at some particular point. But you know what? Timing is everything. The next 5 minutes of this third quarter will greatly dictate their ability to come back and come out on top on this game. So let's see what happens over the next 5 minutes. It's very crucial. St. George's builds on that. They're going to put Vancouver College in a bit of a hole.
Looking at foul trouble for St. George's, Javer Kunkun not on the court right now with 3 fouls. Gianluca Tonghetti, mind you though, with 2 fouls. And Aiden Lear also with 2 fouls. That's number 10 for those that don't know. Gianluca, number 10, one of the leading scorers for Vancouver College tonight so far. Starting the second half, Ashton Wong didn't start the game, but Vancouver College seems to need to get some sort of spark. And just for the viewers at home might not be aware, Vancouver College is not playing with their full roster tonight. And the one player that really stands out, Vincent Velasquez. The last time they played in this gym last year, Vincent put up 20 points, okay? But not only that, St. George is putting up 47 in the first half. Defense could be an issue. Vincent Velasquez was the best defensive player, okay, at the BC Catholics, okay? So that's a huge loss for them. He's out with a hip abductor strain, but he will be back for the next game.
Yeah, he's a big loss for them, no question about it. And not only that, you take a look at points from last year in their matchup, losing their big fella as well. They're asking other guys to do things that they're not used to or accustomed to doing, so that's a bit of a challenge for them. That's why they've got to be very intentional about every time they put the ball up. It's got to be a shot that's a good shot for them. Not a bad start so far, but they got to continue to get some stops on the defensive end and capitalize on the offensive end, especially if they get to the free throw line.
And the other player that's out for Vancouver College is Thomas Mangiani. He's in grade 11, but he was also another player that played up in grade 10. So you know that when a player is playing at the varsity level in grade 10, he's probably a player.
Yeah, and this just shows you right there how tough Kevin Jong is when he gets the basketball in the paint on that replay. Great job on giving us that replay on that, but he is a phenomenal athlete. And again, he causes huge matchup problems for Vancouver College because he is not an undersized guard and he plays well above above the rim.
And there you go. He makes both free throws. Vancouver St. George is doing real well.
Met him at the rim.
Lucas Butler with the block.
Yeah, great job, Lucas. And hey, there's that length we're talking about. You can't teach that.
Crowd really like that storming the court. I want to see maybe how the referees are going to handle this. Well, we don't have a referee. We got Bill Chamberlain. They move back to their seats pretty quickly there.
Look, Bill just gives them that eye, and they move. You don't want to mess with Bill Chamberlain.
Okay, let's see how we do here on St. George's at the free throw line. Again, they were perfect in the first half. And for those of you that are just joining us, my name is Paul Prosnick. I'm with my expert play-by-play man, Brian Lee, hoping to bring you a wonderful second half.
Unlucky bounce there for Vancouver College. That's the situation where they're just not talking to each other, going for the rebound.
Okay.
I love this 1-4 flat set that they run. Really tough to guard. You're almost always going to get a good look on the entry pass. And there, Lucas Butler takes it to the bucket, gets hit, and another opportunity for St. George's to get to the stripe and knock down 2 points.
I'm really happy for Lucas. You know, he didn't really have a significant role necessarily last year on the team. He's kind of come into his own a little bit. But, you know, also impressive about him is his basketball is not the only sport that he plays. He was a member of our volleyball team, soccer team, and he plays ice hockey outside of the school and baseball in the spring. How about that?
Great take.
Not sure who that foul's on.
I didn't see who the foul's on, but I'll tell you what, I almost didn't see
Dorian Glogovic.
Isaiah with that bursting speed getting to the rim. Hey, you know, back to Lucas, you know, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's one of those old school athletes that plays a variety of sports in different seasons. And he's a guy that I also call a late bloomer. College coaches, he's a 6'7" player with length, very coachable, and he would be a great get at the next level. He's a bit of a sleeper because he's only now coming into his own. Kevin Jong once again scores 2 points from in the paint. I think he's almost unstoppable when he gets the ball down low. And don't let him get a free break because you know he is going to put it down with authority.
Okay, Ryan Shams not too happy with that turnover, calling for a sub right away. Gonna check into the game. Marco Mayaga and Kevin Jong, 21 points. He is going to be pumped up. He is one of our resident boarder on the team. For those that don't know, St. George's is a boarding school. We have just about 100 boys that board. Kevin is our only boarder on the team, number 23 on the court. So I'm sure that there's a number of people at the boarding house tonight watching. Hopefully also watching is Mr. Ed Taylor. It's his birthday today, my friend. Simple, tough take.
Nice take. Good job. Hey, you can't give them angles going to the basket. They got to at least keep them on the baseline or on the sideline. Don't allow them to get that angle going to the bucket.
Coach De Silva calling for a little bit more space. I think he wants them not to play with their body and their hands, but simply move their feet and cause them problems with their length.
Yeah, you know, I find a lot of kids struggle with that. They struggle with playing really tight defense without overplaying. And you're prone, a good offensive player wants you to play them close. A good offensive player wants to be able to spin on you or get an angle to the basket. If you can just square up on them and don't allow those angles and gap them and contest shots, you're doing a good job.
Okay, Andres Garcia goes 1 for 2 at the line. He actually just recently at the Emerald Tournament was a first All-Star, and at the BC Catholics the week earlier was awarded the most inspirational player. You know, and that's got to be an award that he's very proud of. When you inspire like that, motivate, we'll see what he can do. He's only in grade 11, but you'll know that what Coach Shams must think of him, because he took Isaiah Bias out of the game to put him in to say, listen, I need you to calm the floor down. Let's start taking care of the basketball. Let's try to chip away at this. St. George is up 22.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're losing a lot of momentum on the scoreboard here. And I think Vancouver College is kind of getting to that desperation point where they are gonna have to look to get some buckets real quickly. But they are doing a good job, I will say, in getting to the paint. Until St. George's shows a little bit more discipline on the defensive end, to just not overplay them, keep them in front of them, get the help side helping outside of the key, and they'll be fine. They don't need to rush anything, just make their shots difficult.
Yeah, and for those that actually follow this game closely, they'll know that there's a few players here that should, well, not necessarily should, that would be eligible to be playing this year, but are actually at different schools, different academies. Isaac Brown and Rocco Marriage.
Yeah, and you know, there's...
And you know, sorry, I know you'll probably get back to those two boys that I just mentioned. But, you know, as we talked about earlier with this starting five that Coach De Silva has, take your shots when they come. And you know what? Tonight's a night that Kevin is getting his shots. Kevin Jong at the line, 23, converting. He's playing it with a lot of confidence. You got to be happy for a guy like that, again, these late bloomers. And he probably might be the leading scorer by the end of the night.
Yeah, and you know what? The touches he's getting in the paint, it's not by accident. Coach Guy's De Silva game plan was to get the ball in the paint and take advantage of their size and their athleticism, and they've done exactly that. Well done, a well-designed game plan for Guy De Silva.
That's a nice follow there by Gianluca Tonghetti. Coming back into the game for Vancouver College, it's going to be Isaiah Bias. I'm going to check in here for St. George's, number 13. Arian Sablok, and number 5, Kosuke Matsubara. Coach De Silva not happy with that last sequence, calls the timeout.
You know, Coach Guy De Silva, I can't say enough about him. He's coaching this game like they're down 1. He's taking nothing for granted. They hit that 3. They're still well in and above what they were coming into this half. They were up, 22 points. Okay. And he's not happy with their progress, right?
No, he's not happy with the progress, but you know what else, Brian? I agree with everything you've just said. But he might also be thinking big picture, because you know what's at stake here? What's at stake right now, okay, is a berth to the Sea to Sky Zone Championships.
Yeah.
And as what happened last year, both these teams split the series. So there is no tiebreaker game here. It is points differential. So I would think that there's a side to Coach De Silva that he knows that maybe at this point you might think, you know, this game is I got this game in a pretty good position right now. Yep. But he knows next week, Thursday night, February 8th, at Vancouver College, it's a whole new ball game.
Man, is it ever? Is it ever?
And so the point differential, the point spread is important. He's just not going to let it go here. Not sure Ryan Shams having a chat here with Fred Gunn, 35 plus years officiating. He's joined by Lee Bryan, 26 years, and Alex Nagai. Total, we got 73 years of experience. I said to Freddie, I actually played slow pitch with Freddie back in the day for a team called the Squids, in case there's anybody listening. Nonetheless, he said it's been 8 years since he's refereed here, and he said, you know what, I'm happy to be back. I said, why are you happy to be back? He says, I love the interaction. He actually said he thought it was like the Catholics and the Protestants. But we won't get into that debate right now.
Well, that's a great follow by Alex on that putback. And they're going to need a little bit more of that from him as well.
You know, I'm thinking when Kevin gets the ball here, Kevin Jong here, number 23, he's thinking, can you stop me? I think he's going to the hoop every time now.
Yeah.
Now, that can be a dangerous thing.
Yeah, but you know what, Paul? They're giving it to him. Every time he gets it, he's going almost like a straight line to the bucket. They need to cut off his angles and get guys ready to play in those gaps because he's not hitting those pull-up jumpers. He's just looking to get right into the paint. Now here's the mastermind with the basketball in his hand, Dom, back on the court.
That's a big block. That's a big block. And again, look at the energy, look at the crowd. We're gonna probably see it right here on the replay.
Look at, he's timing him. Look at Dorian timing him from the weak side. I mean, he lined that up from the weak side. Well done, Dorian. Way to be alert on the defensive end.
So you talk about that. You have a block and then you have a travel call. You know, you're probably thinking as a coach, what do I need to do to get a break here? And I'm not sure that Coach Shams has much that he can go to on the bench that's going to give a spark. I'm not saying there's not talent on the bench, but I'm saying that there might not be a spark for his team on the bench right now.
Yeah, no, I see that. I mean, I think throughout the game, Paul, you might agree, Tognetti seems to be the one guy in this team that consistently is getting good looks. And they got to get the ball in his hands a little bit more.
Okay. And you know what? Maybe that's what they needed.
Yeah.
Gallon, look at the fans. The fans erupted. Vancouver College fans erupted there. Gallon with a dunk. I tell you what, let's see what this is going to...
I mean, he's well over the rim, and that's the athlete we were talking about. Alex Gallon, an underrated player, most definitely. He's got phenomenal athleticism. Although his athleticism is a little ahead of his skill sets, he's someone that can really turn things around, and that's exactly what they needed.
And of course, VC's looking to push. That's what they wanted to do all game. Yeah. And we got a block. Fouls on number 21, Javer Kunkun. I believe that might actually be his fourth foul.
Oh, wow.
So I think right away, Coach De Silva is not going to mess around. Luke Sebastian coming into the game, number 14. Oh no, he's gonna keep Javer in. I'm not sure if he's aware that he's got 4. Kosuke Masabara comes out of the game. LaShawn Axon waving to Coach De Silva that he's got 4.
Yeah, they'll correct that and they'll get somebody else in for him.
LaShawn's son, as a matter of fact, played for Vancouver College. Elijah Campbell Action, and then went on to play at UBC. Very interesting. A lot of crossover between these two schools.
Oh, unbelievable.
Do you know that there's a few coaches that have coached at both schools?
I think I heard something about that, Paul. Talk to me.
Well, I think Bill Disbro may have coached at Vancouver College and St. George's. LaShawn Axon, our current assistant coach there. And I'm sitting beside right now, Brian Lee, coach at Vancouver College. And one little nugget that many people might not know, Coach Guy De Silva attended Vancouver College in grade 8 and 9.
Yeah, there's some familiar ties there between Vancouver College and St. George's, and this is why this rivalry is so hot. It's a community. 2 boys' schools within 10 minutes apart. Are you kidding me? They all know each other, and this game is very much about bragging rights.
There we go.
That's actually a very big bucket, I'll tell you, because it kind of seems like Van College was trying to turn the corner on that. If they hit a bucket here right now, they're going to really put Van College in a hole. They need to take their time and move the basketball. They don't need a quick shot right now. With 12 seconds left on the shot clock, I'd play it right down to about 3 or 4.
Showing some nice composure here. St. George's dipping it inside. And again, wow, big block by Gianluca Tonghetti. Oh, yeah, he got him pretty good. You look at his hand right now, you're going to see a nice big red mark on there.
Yeah, that was an easy call right there. Got him. Yep.
We didn't get a chance to let you know how the other games went tonight. We talked about the grade 8 game, but in grade 9, VC was in cruise control. They're up 34-14 at the half. They won by 19, 71-52. St. George's Francesco Colatero led all scorers with 25 points. Ethan Chu had 22 for VC. And in the junior varsity game, VC led by 7 after 1. They were up 34-29 at the half. St. George's got it close, but they couldn't keep it there. They ended up losing that game. Pierce Simons had 28 points in the losing cause. John Anthony, 14 for VC, and Lucas Tandago also had 14 for VC. And I'm actually thinking, didn't get a chance to see that game too closely, but I did see, when I talk about legends in the stands, I saw Matt Anthony, former Richmond Colt. I believe John Anthony might be his son, so well done to John in putting down 14 for VC tonight. Many, many legends in the crowd tonight.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the past players, their kids are attending the same school and playing the sport the same way, and it's what you get in. I think a lot of these boys' schools, the single-sex schools, you're going to get a lot of that, the brotherhood that they form, the connection to the school community, and I think it's strong on both ends. And I think, again, those are the things that enrich this type of a rivalry, is just a commonality of experiences, and they relate to each other in many respects. And as much as they're foes in this game, there's huge respect from one school to the next, and this rivalry makes both schools, both communities better in many ways.
And speaking of both and boys schools, I believe these are the two only boys schools in the province. A little bit of trivia, maybe not so hard, but do you know who would have been the last boys school in the province outside of St. George's and Vancouver College?
Yeah, I'm going to say St. Thomas More in New West, Burnaby, New West area.
You got it.
Might
You
have
got
been
it,
the last.
my friend.
Yeah, and they went co-ed, and they're doing a terrific job over there. Aaron Mitchell is a fine person of character that does so much in that community. I believe he runs your student life department there, and wonderful energy, and I think he also played there, if my memory serves me correct.
Oh, he played at Terry Fox, my friend. But that's good. I'm glad you're testing me tonight. But do you know the name of his podcast by chance?
I listen to his podcast all the time, my friend. He is phenomenal. He's as good as they come. Now, look, Conville. I actually think Conville is the one guy out there that's going to calm him down. You notice that he doesn't take any shots out of his flow. Everything is done. Oh, look at that athletic move. Everything is done within rhythm.
So they're down 18 right now. Vancouver College. Again, they're going to have to get some stops. 4-3. Now Tisdale, he's capable of hitting threes. The last time we played in this gym, he had 3 threes and 11 points. He's a quarterback. He can handle pressure.
Wow.
Do we call it? Was there not a guy in the NBA called The Answer?
Yeah, and he certainly did that, didn't he, Paul?
Was that Penny Hardaway? The Answer? Who was The Answer?
Iverson was. Now you're testing my knowledge.
Okay, well, hopefully I can get a text here from somebody and they can help us out here.
I should know this. I'm embarrassed that I don't even know that. But that was a big answer, nonetheless, by Dom. I mean, they needed that. It was a 15-point game at the time. Oh, not a very good foul.
Okay, .2 on the shot clock. Coach De Silva shaking his head. Again, he kind of bailed him out there.
Yeah, he did. He did. You know what? I think my first guess in terms of the answer was Allen Iverson, AI. and very appropriately coined the answer. Anytime they needed a bucket, he was one of those individuals that was able to hit big shots in big games, in the most big moments. Are you feeling me, Paul? Talk to me, man.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you.
All
There
right,
we
so
go.
look, we're looking at 16 points. We went into the half at 19 points. They brought it down 3 points. It is a fourth quarter game. 16 points is not insurmountable, but it is a situation where they do have to take care of the basketball, get some stops, and knock down some buckets.
Absolutely. It is definitely going to be an uphill battle. It's going to happen at the defensive end of the court. Camera's not on the fans right now, but they kind of had a parting of the Red Sea. Very iconic over there. Not sure who that was that ran up into the stands.
Yeah, they do a great job in bringing their energy. We had a pep rally here yesterday at the school, and man, it was a beautiful thing to see everybody coming together and cheering on. And all day throughout the hallway, you had students and teachers and faculty and staff members, everybody in the building just representing with their spirit, wearing the red and white Saints. And I guarantee it, knowing Van College the way I do, the same thing was happening over there with the energy throughout. This is really a cool experience for everybody involved.
And you know, I asked a number of boys to send out a little form to each of the teams and asked them about this event and what they like. And a number of the players talked about that they've been watching this game as a youngster. And I think you've probably been involved and coached some kids and brought them to these games and given them that sort of taste of what this is all about. Give them that sort of desire and vision that, listen, I want to work at my game so I can play in this game. And sometimes you got to work when nobody's looking in order to play when everybody's looking.
Oh, most definitely.
So getting back to our high scores for after 3 quarters, Gianluca Tonghetti, Isaiah Bias, each with 16 points for Vancouver College. Kevin Jong, 26 points, and Dom following up. Dom Aquino with 16.
Isaiah has shown his level of athleticism in everything he does. He has one speed, and although you know he's got one speed, he's tough to stop.
He's tough to stop, and you know, he's kind of like the field general out there, and really, you may not know this. I don't know if you're a sneaker guy, and these aren't quite sneakers, but Nike has just released a retro shoe from 1982 called the Field General. When I used to play football, that was a staple shoe, a turf boot. You might have to look it up. Maybe some of these BC boys, given their football background over there, the Nike Field General.
Tough hoop by Marco on that, showing his dexterity. Well done, but I'll tell you, every bucket that Van College scores is a tough bucket. St. George's has done a phenomenal job from the jump ball to ensure that every shot is contested. Kudos to their tough defense. And yeah, Van College is hitting some tough shots, but they're earning every single amount of the 60 points that they put up on the board.
So now it's a 16-point difference here. 9 minutes to go. I'm sensing right now from this Vancouver College team that they feel they can do it. And if you have that belief, that's where it all starts.
I love how they're defending the ball, screen and roll action on the ball, St. George's. They're hedging hard, and they know that Van College is not looking for the roll, and they've got that weak side help just sitting there waiting. That's not by accident.
No, that's definitely been coached.
Oh, no doubt. And they've executed that the entire game. They hard hedge on it, and they got their hands that are active. And I don't think there's been one scenario where Vancouver College was able to get a good look off of that. They disrupted them throughout the whole play.
On the floor, Evan Palmer saying, "You are not taking that ball away from me." We got a jump ball, possession arrow in favor of Vancouver College.
Evan Palmer is one of the top athletes we have here in the school, and he's an outstanding national team level rugby player, so he's not afraid to get on the floor and mix it up. He doesn't have to think about it. It's instinctual. Evan Palmer.
Doesn't have too bad genes either, with his father being in the Canadian Rugby Hall of Fame.
Well, game of runs. We're looking at a 13-point game with 8 minutes left. There's plenty of time left in the game. And right now they've got a bit of momentum. What St. George's needs to do is go back to what got them that 20-point lead, and that's playing smart ball and being very intentional about the shots they take.
Dorian Blagovic.
He's had a heck of a second half, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's taken charge, and sometimes he realizes, okay, somebody's got to do something here. With a block and a rebound, Lucas Butler. He's been quietly effective this evening.
Well, there's that length he was showing, right? Dorian is feeling it. Don't know if they needed that.
There was a window. There was a window. 3 or 4 possessions ago in which VC had a chance. Last couple series here, St. George is coming through. Ryan Shams looking up. He knows something's needed here, calling for a timeout.
Well, Paul, I just noticed as you were saying that Dorian is limping off. He called for a sub. I hope he didn't land funny on that 3-point attempt, and he might have just done that. They need Dorian to be healthy. He's picked it up in the second half and probably given them that punch that they needed to sustain the lead. Just when Vancouver College looked like they were getting back into it, Dorian hit a couple of big shots, and they're going to need him down this last bit of stretch to do exactly that.
So I tell you what, Brian, let's talk about what's next for these teams. St. George is going to be hopping on a plane tomorrow night, 6 p.m. They're heading up to the 49th annual Western Canadian Basketball Tournament. There's 8 teams there from Western Canada, all the way from Manitoba. Number 8, Kelowna, is in that tournament. But not only that, number 3, Oak Bay, is in that tournament as well. And if St. George's can get through their first game, get through Raymond, number 2 ranked from Alberta, they will face number 3, Oak Bay. And I'll tell you one thing about Coach De Silva. You don't always want to play him in a rematch. He's very good with his adjustments, and he likes to see how his teams match up. So he's really hoping he's going to get through that first game and face Oak Bay, and I'd imagine Oak Bay would be excited to play St. George's as well.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about styles of play. I think those two teams have a bit of contrasting styles of play, and it'll be a neat matchup both ways. Got away with a bit of a travel on that one. Those are the buckets they got to hit if they're trying to get back into the game.
They do, but I thought there that maybe Ashton Wong settled for that shot, and I thought he's got some size. He can maybe take it to the rim. I don't know really what kind of game he has, but I would have liked to see him get to the basket there. You're not going to shoot yourself back in the game with one shot.
That might be one of the best ball movement segments that we've seen all game. The ball went in, came back out, whipped around the corner. No hesitation on the 3, went straight up and knocked it down. Good job, Lucas Butler.
And again, look at that coverage on that screen and roll off the wing.
Again, look at every shot. That one is uncontested. You know, I got to give it to Vancouver College. They're not giving up. They're sticking in this game, and that's a credit to them.
You got to love the fight and a foul. And as a coach, I really don't like those fouls that far away from the basket when it's unnecessary, right? You've got they've got a nail in the coffin now. They got to kind of finish them off.
I think that's the timeout. Guy De Silva just called a timeout, and that's somebody's 5th foul. Who's that foul on? That's big.
Well, Charlie McConville. Charlie McConville fouled out of the game. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think maybe the team was aware of what he had, but nonetheless, he's out. I know De Silva's probably not happy with the composure that they saw. And who do you see then as being, speaking of that tournament, and there are a few top teams in the province, who do you see as being maybe some of the front runners coming down the stretch here? There's been a little bit of movement in the rankings. For example, Vancouver College was 7 in the ranking. They've fallen out. They're honorable mention now. A couple teams have kind of slid in there.
Well, you know what? I mentioned Spectrum a little bit earlier on, and I think they might be, well, in my opinion, maybe the most complete team from top to bottom in terms of what they bring in skill set, size, and just their understanding of the game. Oak Bay is right there. Timanawis, Lord Tweedsmuir, obviously St. George's, West Van, and Kelowna. I think those are really the competitive teams in a bunch. And I don't know if any one team, again, if I had to lean to anyone in Spectrum, but other than that, on any given day, any of these teams can beat each other. They're all right in the mix. So it's going to be great to see who comes together. And I'll tell you what, Paul, who is going to be healthy when it counts. At the end of the day, you need guys that have healthy bodies and are able to get out on the court and do what they do best. We're looking at right now a 16-point game. If 5 minutes left, they are going to need some stops, Vancouver College that is, if they're going to give themselves any kind of a chance to come out on to relinquish the deficit right now.
Some pretty good clock management here by St. George's, pulling it out after that last rebound down low. Milk another 30 seconds off the clock. Kevin's just going to use his athleticism, get to the root. And look at that board, his ability to get back up. He can get back up off the ground very, very quickly, and that's what makes him tough to guard on the offensive end of the court. And when you are getting those chances, tonight's been his night. And, you know, he's actually worked hard for the ball tonight, and the efforts have paid off.
Well said, Paul. Kevin Jong is, I mean, I love the fact he goes up for those rebounds with two hands. He's a phenomenal athlete already as it is, but when he gets up with two hands, he's coming back down with it. And most of his points, I'd say 90% of the points that he's had have been right in the paint underneath the basket, and it's all been hustle points. Definitely a spark for these guys.
Okay, well, I guess Dorian Glagovac not really that hurt. He's back into the game. Subs right back in. Guy De Silva is not going to be taking his foot off the pedal tonight, that's for sure.
There's that length that St. George's is showing inside. They're doing a good job in minimizing second shot opportunities, which is what Van College is going to need on those missed shots, and they're just not getting it tonight. Not getting it tonight.
The camera showing the bench here. Two coaches, Isaiah Solomon, Brian Shams, maybe looking a little bit dejected. I'm looking across and I'm seeing the principal of Vancouver College, Daryl Weaver. He's not looking too excited over there, but a little tidbit about Daryl Weaver. I don't know if I shared this with you, Brian, but I looked through one of my old basketball programs, and in 1987 at the Chancellor, St. Thomas More beat Vancouver College in the final. And you probably wouldn't believe who the manager was for that basketball team, coached by Joe Thurman. But that was Daryl Weaver.
Wow.
And for any old, well, maybe not old, but those of that ilk, of that time frame in this province, that team had the likes of Rich Otter, Sancho Kalina, Kevin O'Flynn, Troy Van Vliet, Mike McDaniel, Mike Broderick. They have a big following for their alumni tournament, so there might be some watching tonight that recognize a few of those names.
Paul, I don't know where you get your facts from, man, but you dug that one up very well. Did you see, by the way, I got to talk about that. that right hand penetration with that reverse spin, up and under finish. They call that a jelly finish. Look, goes right, gets him on his back, finishes up and under with the left hand. I mean, that is ridiculous.
Somebody's fired up right now. That's pretty good. St. George is up 17, and you're bringing the same energy that you had at the start of the game. Keep it coming.
Paul Peasy, man, you know what gives me the energy? Sitting down beside you, doing this game. You're my guy. So I'm just excited to be doing this beside you, my man, and that's all love.
Thank you for that. I'm going to go out on a limb here, folks, because I asked Brian Lee earlier if I could maybe poke a little fun, and he said no, might not be appropriate for the audience that we have in front. But I'm going to take a little chance right now.
Oh, no.
There's a lovely bakery in Kerrisdale, Moore's Bakery. And what I'm going to say is I'm not going to ask for permission. I may ask for forgiveness.
Oh, gosh. I don't know where you're going to go with this.
But the first student that can go in there tomorrow and tell them the score of this game, they're going to get a free cookie. I don't know. I sure hope that happens, because I'm going out on a limb right now.
Oh, wow. That's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, there's a family at Vancouver College, well known. They like to give back to the community. And I think they could part with a cookie tomorrow. Likely it might be a Vancouver College student.
Let me ask you this. Am I entitled to that as well?
Hey, if you get there, who knows? Like, this could be big business for them, because nobody knows when that cookie's been given out.
Let me tell you something. I'm lining up tomorrow morning to get me some cookie, okay? I'm lining up.
I love it. Okay, what do we got next here? Hey, folks, tell you what, Vancouver College, they're playing Kitsilano on Saturday, February the 3rd. That's their next game. And then down the road, for those that like to follow, the Sea to Sky Zone Championship, the #1 seed in that tournament will host the preliminary games, and then the semifinals and finals are going to take place on February 24th at Carson Graham. So there'll be a wild card game played on February 16th that will be Independent #2 and Vancouver #4. Could be one of, right now, looks like the top teams in Vancouver: Van Tech, Churchill, Killarney, Kitsilano. So we'll see. Things are going to unfold. The playoff sort of structure or landscape is going to develop over the next couple weeks here.
Yeah. No, it's about to heat up. And you know, Paul, what's really cool for me to see, as I look at on the court, a lot of these guys play club basketball. And you know I coach out in the club and the community as well. And honestly, I don't think club basketball can give them what this high school atmosphere and experience is giving them. You know, they've got their families, their parents, people they care about in the community, all here supporting them. You've got a rivalry that's healthy and rich. And you know what? This means so much to them. And, you know, my heart does go out to guys like Keaton O'Kennedy, who was a 12th grade student and unable to play this year. And he had a formidable role on this team as a returner from last year's team. He's probably good for an extra 20 points on the board for him, and he's not able to experience this. But you know what? He's got his uniform on right now. He's sitting down with his buddies, and he's experiencing the moment, and he's cheering them on. Those types of stories are beautiful, and that's what high school basketball can offer you. And he's got a place here. So, you know what? These guys are fortunate to remember these things, these games. And, you know, look out in the stands right now. How many guys, older gentlemen, are in the stands that played in this very game, in this very gym years ago?
Well, that was a dish if you ever seen one. Wow. Little no look to Evan Palmer. Little bit of a cherry on top of that banana sundae.
Well, look, Dom's been doing that all game. I got to give him. He's made some beautiful passes throughout the game and showing, again, we talk about college coaches. Yeah, he's undersized, no question about it. But you got to give him a look. You know, he's an intelligent player. He can knock down the shot from outside. When he plays within himself and becomes a facilitator, he does a lot of great things on the court. Dom's having a heck of a game today as a 12th grader in his last one here at St. George's.
Well, here we go, Brian. I think it might be time. You probably know what time it is, but I'm going to tell you right now. When this is an interesting scenario here late in the game. St. George's is up. I know we talked about point differential, but now you got to think about injuries, do you not?
Yeah, that's a good point. I thought about it as Dorian went up and came down. You want guys to be healthy and ready to play. And that's my biggest fear for all of these teams I mentioned earlier on. They got to be healthy, and they got to be smart about that as well.
Okay, he's calling 5 fouls here on Alex Gallen. And, you know, he hasn't maybe got lots of minutes this year, but I thought he's come in with some energy. He's made a bit of an impact. Hopefully that's good for his confidence, and maybe we might see a little bit more of him on February 8th. But at the end of the day, this game is in the refrigerator, my friend.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
The door is closed.
I'm hearing you, my man.
The lights are out.
Bring it, bring it.
The eggs are cooling.
Oh, yeah.
The butter is getting hard.
Ah, yeah.
And the Jell-O is jiggling.
Oh, my goodness, Paul. Love it, love it, love it. I think that makes this whole broadcast, my friend.
Okay, well, you know, I'm not sure if you checked your phone over this broadcast, but I just got word from Moore's Bakery. And you know what they said? They need to know the final score. I guess that makes sense.
Well, you know what? You tell your bakery friends that I'm lining up tomorrow. You think I'm kidding? I am actually going to show up, and I'm going to demand my cookie.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing you on Instagram eating that cookie tomorrow.
Can I tell you something, P?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go get my cookie, and I'm going to give you a piece of my cookie. I'm going to share my cookie with you, okay?
Doesn't matter. Any spot.
Okay, I love it. I love it. We're winding down here. A minute to go. Coach De Silva wanting a timeout. He probably wants to get all the players off the court here to finish.
That's smart. Very, very smart. Get his guys off. You don't need any more points up there. Get everybody out of the game healthy and ready to go for the next one. But hey, look, we got a matchup coming up next week. And we know in doing this over the years that game will be a very different game than this game. And in many respects, we're going to almost see different teams playing. Why? It's the last one for a lot of these 12th graders, and they're going to bring every single ounce of energy and spirit to this game. And we know how hard it is to play at Vancouver College. And you also have some stats about teams that have played on the road in this series and how well they've done. So talk to us a little bit about that.
I love that you're bringing that up, but you know, I don't want the fans at home to be discouraged that maybe this game wasn't as close as it should be, because they do need to tune in and watch next week. Because let me tell you something, 4 out of the last 5 series, the home team has won every time. There has only been 3 sweeps in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. So you got to tune in next February the 8th, 6 p.m., Alumni Gymnasium. It will be a different game, hands down.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. But hey, for the moment, let's relish the moment. Oh, is that Keaton Kennedy I see out there? They just put him out there. Look at that. I love that. I love that. So Keaton Kennedy, number 3. Hold up, they don't need any of that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Tempers are flaring. Tempers are flaring. They don't need anything like that. The game has gone well thus far.
Fred got an official right in between in front of Aiden Lear right now. He knows how to control a game. He knows he's just going to sort it out with the other officials.
Well, I got to tell you, knowing both those players who got into that little tussle, they're great kids. The moment got the best of them. I think it's squashed at this point. You don't have to worry about too much. They're great kids involved.
It's squashed at this point, but I wonder if there might be a pep rally at Vancouver College next week, and they show a little clip there at the end add a little fuel to the fire. Not that we're talking violence here, but that might just be fire for the next game.
Oh yeah, they're already thinking about that. Look at the score though. Let's kind of understand what we're seeing here.
Well,
it's a 13-point game.
Absolutely, that's not a whole lot by basketball standards.
No, it's not. It's not. So I think they're trying to sort out where the technical foul is going to go and who's going to get back on the line. But you know what, Paul? In our vantage point right now, I'm looking at St. George's crowd, the kids cheering, chanting, and Vancouver College on the other side. And the energy that they have has not waned from the jump. Like, they've been cheering for this entire game. Not one of these students has sat down. They have stood up the entire game. Look at that.
And look at SportsCanada.TV, able to split the screen there for you viewers at home. SportsCanada.TV's done a wonderful job. And we're really grateful that they're willing to be here. They've actually been here since, I believe, I'd have to check my notes, but they first time that we ever broadcast a game, they were the crew that did it for us. I believe that might take us back to 2012, as a matter of fact. We haven't been on the mic that long, but we have been broadcasting the games.
Yeah, and you know, Choyel Brown leading the charge with that has been phenomenal. He's great to work with, and has shown a lot of love in terms of being able to put this on the stage so that the whole province, the whole nation can actually see this. These games are highly, highly viewed from alumni across the world. And so lots of folks are plugging in and taking in this excitement that we're all privy to.
Yeah, a little fun fact that, in fact, the first high school game that SportsCanada.TV broadcast, and you might know this game, Brian, it was in March of 2009 when Vancouver College played St. George's in the championship game, for which you were coaching, and Emerson Murray hit the buzzer beater. That was the first game they broadcast.
Are you kidding me? At Agrodome?
At the Agrodome, I have it right here, right now. Paul, and the first BC Saints series, specifically 2012.
That's unbelievable. You know what's interesting? It's a little late, but I love the fact that Vancouver College is playing right to the end. I mean, again, you think it's a one-point game, they're getting after it, and that shows what they're setting up for the next time they play. There's Keaton Kennedy. I'm just glad to see him out on the court. Love seeing that.
Yeah, getting back to VC and their fight, never say die attitude.
Oh, I love it.
That breathes through their whole program. That is something that is part of the culture, the DNA of that school. Yeah. Absolutely. They're also making a statement for the next game.
Yeah.
That, hey, we're not going to roll over here, and you better be ready for us.
Yeah, no, it's a setup, right? They're setting it all up.
We got 2.8 seconds. You know, there's a lot that goes into putting this night together, and I know I can't thank everybody. One, I want to thank the viewers for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast. Brian Lee, my wonderful play-by-play. I'm Paul Prosnick. If you want to ever give us any feedback, we are certainly open to that. Christine Lee at my side here, helping us out with stats. St. George's Athletic Department, headed up by Chris Blackman. Courtside Operations, Christine Lee, Jonathan Figueroa, Hannah Pierce, Coach White, and they stormed the court. Brian Lee, it's been a pleasure.
Paul, thank you for the opportunity to sit by you tonight and broadcast this game. It's been a pleasure, most definitely. Fans, we watched a really exciting game tonight. Kudos to the kids, kudos to the fans, the administration for supporting all of this, and thank you for tuning in. You could be anywhere tonight and you decide to be with us. We don't take that for granted. So until next time, folks, you take care, and we'll see you next time around. Good night.